Hi, it's Alan back again. We've had a good talk about keels, we've looked at rudders. So lastly, we're going to have a look at different propeller types. Okay, this is a classic example. Most boats have, a lot of boats have. This is a three-bladed fixed propeller, very efficient at driving the boat forward. But also it's an immense amount of drag behind you when you're a sailing boat. I just noticed this, you'll find this on many boats. This is a rope cutter. On boats like this, where the shaft is a bit exposed, if you get ropes caught up around the propeller, maybe some fishing nets, then the idea of this cutter here, as the propeller rotates, it should cut the rope to keep it clear. I just wanted to point out, this is very traditional in modern type boats. This is the prop shaft. You'll see it's quite exposed here, held in with what's called a P bracket or an A bracket here. It is a bit vulnerable. If you get ropes or objects caught between the back of the keel and the prop, then these can easily get bent or damaged. So I just showed you an image of a propeller shaft coming out the back of a boat, which is fairly standard on modern boats. You'll notice this is slightly different. This is called a sail drive unit, which comes vertically out of the boat. The gearbox and engine are directly above it, and it makes for a much more compact unit. Still got a fixed three-bladed prop on it. Just one downside of these, there's a seal up here between the hull and the fitting, has to be replaced every 7 years, which is quite a bit of work. This is a great example of a folding propeller, thinking about resistance. And the idea is when we're motoring, the blades angle like this, but when we're sailing, the blades can automatically turn into the water and they smooth out the water flow, and it means you're sailing efficiently without reducing any drag. The only the two downsides really, firstly that they are mechanical, and I guess there's always a chance of a breakage or a jam within these systems. And also when you're changing from forward to reverse, the blades have to turn through quite a lot, and often there is a slight delay from engaging reverse gear. So just be prepared for that. Here's another example of a vessel with a sail drive unit, and notice it's got a folding propeller here, slightly different. This is a two-bladed one, and when we're motoring, it comes out, and when you start to sail, it automatically comes in and folds away. Just again, worth noting, sometimes if the boat sits a long time in a very weedy area, we get a lot of crustaceans and weed in here, and sometimes I've found that the actual, the blades get seized either in or out, which is not ideal. So here's a picture of my prop. I polished it up nicely before she went in the water. She came out about 5 months later, and you can see how weeded up she is. I just wanted to show you this. This is a traditional P-bracket shaft and a rather nice gory folding propeller here. I want to notice here it's coated in this rather amazing silicon paint. And one of the problems with the propellers, they get weeded up, crustaceans, and you get over a season, you get a lot of barnacles building on it. My policy's always been to polish it as best I can, but even that doesn't work perfectly. But this newly designed silicon paint is such a slippery surface that theoretically by the end of the season this should come out just as clean as it was when it started. Welcome back to Fair Exchange. This is my boat. Just before I talk about the propeller, this is my rudder. I've always think it's a very strange shape, and in my mind it's definitely too small for the boat. So it just means that even professional yacht designers get it wrong sometimes. But what I wanted to show you was the propeller. Now, the standard propeller on most boats is a three-bladed propeller. That causes a lot of resistance when you're sailing, but you'll see I've got a two-bladed. Now, this is not as efficient when you're motoring, but one of the nice things is that when I'm sailing, I can actually put the propeller, I've got marks inside on the shaft inside, and I can lock the propeller up and down, and that reduces the resistance on the boat, and I sail faster. We've seen some examples of boats with prop shafts and A brackets or P brackets, which are quite exposed. Just one advantage of a long keel boat, or indeed one with a skeg like this. This is a lovely two-bladed propeller, and you can see how well protected it is. So if there are any lines or ropes coming along, they tend to be deflected away from the skeg or from the keel, which protects this propeller, stopping ropes get tangled around it. We're looking at a motorboat now, though there are plenty of motorboats around that have a single propeller. Many are like this with twin propellers and twin rudders. Notice firstly the smallness of these rudders, and that's because you're really controlling your manoeuvrability. using the two propellers. The two engines work independently, and we can have one driving forward, one astern to help turn the boat around. So we've got twin props on twin engines and twin rudders. Okay, so in summary, you can see propellers come in all sorts of shapes and sizes. Folding propellers tend to be a lot more expensive than fixed propellers, but it's your choice. If you've got a fixed propeller, there's always a big discussion about when you're sailing, should you allow it to freewheel or should you lock it off? What's the most efficient? I could be wrong here. I believe actually allowing the prop to freewheel is best. But for me, I find the noise extremely annoying and I'm concerned about the wear and tear on the shaft. So I always lock my propeller when I'm actually sailing. Many people on sailing boats will put the engines reverse to do that. On my boat, I actually have a prop shaft or prop lock that I actually put on to stop that turning when I'm sailing. Okay, that's everything I want to talk to you about propellers. If you haven't already seen, I've done a little video on keels and another one on rudders, so you can have a look at those as well. I hope you've learned something useful from these little videos, and I'll see you soon. Cheers. Charlie, when the house bears about 270 degrees.
To work out our distance from the lighthouse and use that.
We might be perfectly on track, but if we're not on time...
Have a look, I've got my phone here at the effects it has on our steering compass. So our echo sound is working, we can find a contour and follow it nicely into port.
Our left hand is pointing towards the centre of the lull.